come in all, watch your step on those cables. This magic isn't very stable. We're gonna go on a trip into the rift.
This week's episode of Juked is brought to you by Team 4 Science, losing 5v5 draft picks since May 2011. When in doubt, science! Juked Episode 6, archived on December 3rd, 2011. Take 2. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Stringo, and with me is Tizenel.
Hey everyone.
Keen Corpse.
Hiya.
And Demaga.
Yo, what's up?
And we're
Sounded like you were sad.
he was very sad.
And Amaga.
And Demaga. And we're here in the rift. We're warming our hands by a fire. And we're here to talk about some of the biggest changes about things in the League of Legends. Starting first with the news in the jungle, and there's been a lot of I'm gonna call it controversy between some sides. Some people love the new jungle, some people hate it. A lot of people think that it's just not exactly where it needs to be. And let's talk a bit about what Red posts to say. What does Riot think about the jungle so far? Do we have any feedback from them?
Yeah, they're not quite happy with how experience is working in the jungle. It's a little bit the junglers fall behind too quickly. Primarily when they go to gank, they just fall behind, lose out on too much experience, that whole thing. So they're going to be upping the experience gain that you get from jungle creeps, as well as introducing this banking system that they've come up with, where essentially, like, if a creep hasn't been, or a jungle creep hasn't been killed in like a certain amount of time, it starts to bank experience in gold. So like if you don't get to it right when it spawns or close to when it spawns, because you're doing other things, that's potentially wasting that sort of steady income of experience in gold. They're banking that experience in gold, so when you do finally get to it, you get a little bit of a boost. They said they're going to release this in a hotfix. They've been their first aim, I think, was like Thursday, but they've been running into some technical difficulties. I think they have it all designed. There's just some technology that's holding them back a little bit. Their current aim is, yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking of counter jungling and how crazy important that could be. Just to go kill that big creep and then just leave it there. And then they're thinking, okay, this camp is going to be, worth a lot because I haven't been in the jungle. Then they get there and their creep's gone. Oh, I'm actually really excited for that change.
Yeah. I think that is part of the aim as well, as they don't like the counter jungling. They feel, I think, is a little bit too weak. So this whole banking system as well will I think increase the effectiveness of counter jungling a little bit. One thing about the bank though that's kind of important is that with the hotfix, there's not going to be visuals released, but they are planning to release visuals for the banking system, so when the jungle creep has extra golden experience stored in it.
That is, I think that's unbelievably awesome.
That sounds really cool.
That is, I can't.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think. No, I could be wrong because I don't know other Dota games, but I don't think any other Dota game has used that quite yet. I know for sure in Warcraft 3 they didn't use it. I don't think they're using it in Heroes of New Earth, and I highly doubt they've used it in Dota 2 beta quite yet. So this is just showing a bit of creativity from Riot, and a great way to solve the problem. I mean, we know Riot can be really creative, and this just proves it.
Yeah, I know. This is not what I was expecting at all, and I think it solves the problem pretty nicely.
So with the jungle right now, and keeping all that in mind for the future, so let's just assume right now that that's going to be in the game pretty soon. Just at least right now, it's just really difficult for a jungler to balance their time between ganking, because whenever we're playing, we always have two lanes that are a problem or something or another. So that jungler needs to bounce back and forth, and he's losing out on so much experience. And I mean, it's that banking system could solve the problem, but I'm not sure if it's going to solve it completely unless they kind of maybe make it a bit, keeping that in complete mind. What do we think on this issue?
I think it's a good step in the right direction. I think another issue that could be solved, or just like a way that teams can compensate for that, is creating stronger poke, maybe more aggressive lanes. At least when we're playing, we try to play pretty passively for the most part, and we're getting pushed down, which is putting more pressure on our jungler. So maybe having a bit more aggression, either in your players or better team pick matchups where you're going to dominate your lane harder, will relieve that pressure from the jungler and allow them to continue to jungle. But going out and then assisting occasionally on those ganks and then coming back for the extra gold is going to be really crucial.
So
That's my thought on it.
I like
anyway.
to poke around on the forum because I like to see what insanity the general community is up to. And a lot of people were complaining that the Warwick and Fiddlesticks jungle were having major problems XP wise and stuff. So I played a Fiddlesticks jungle in a blind pick and I had absolutely zero problems with it. And just personally, I was like, okay, well, maybe, I don't know. It's like I started with blue, I downed it without any problems, and I'd like to point out that I was using my Orianna runes and masteries, so I wasn't even completely, I didn't even have spell vamp or anything. So, yeah, so just from a jungler's perspective, with this change that they had implemented, let's get this banking system out of mind. What was Riot really aiming at? Did they really want the jungler to stay in their jungler the entire game and only gank when it was absolutely necessary?
Well, they were trying to give you less downtime because in the original jungle, after you cleared lane, like cleared your entire jungle, you'd have to wait a long time. So you'd either have to go find a place to gank or you'd have to go into the enemy jungle, which created a lot of downtime for the jungler where they weren't really getting experience, they really weren't getting gold. So they were trying to fix that and make it more of like maybe a lane system, so the junglers at least had options and had something to do.
Yeah, that's pretty much accurate, I think, from what I've read as well. They want the jungler to make more of the decision when to gank as opposed to, okay, my jungle's clear, now what do? I have three options. Either I can B, get items, I can gank, or I can counter jungle once my jungle's clear, because I have dead time. They by eliminating a lot of that dead time, they put more decision making on the jungler when it's actually a good time to do those things.
Now, when you're in a laning phase, and we're going to compare a bit of lane to jungle, when you're in a laning phase, you really don't have an option other than to, leave your lane and go gank another lane. It's generally you're just trying to decide when you want to poke, when you want to gank the person you're in lane with. So we were always talking when we were in a game about how much... It's kind of like the jungle is the new support now. At least with this system. Because you have to rely so heavily on the jungler to do these ganks and to keep control of the jungle. I mean, they were talking about making the jungle more accessible to others, but right now, with the jungler having all these decisions, it's way more difficult than it used to be.
See,
Yeah,
I think what they were trying to do was create an easier just pass through the jungle, but still keep that skill level capped at making decisions based upon player base, rather than just anybody can do that. And I think that's really cool because it promotes a lot of room to grow as a jungler and become progressively better, but it also allows you to get like really different performances and very unique with each one of the junglers about how they operate, both inside, outside the jungle.
If nothing else, I think it's good that like you can pick up the jungle a little bit while you're leveling towards level 30. It's a lot easier to jungle, I think, in those lower sort of summoner levels. But then the actual sort of I guess skill cap for the jungle, is a little bit higher. It sounds like. So there's more room to grow, I guess. I think that's kind of cool.
I don't know if I'm just awesome at the game, but I remember playing with a level 1, so I made a level 1 account, and the free one champion was Nunu. And I cleared the jungle no problem back on the old jungle, so laugh out loud.
Yeah, Nunu's there's a couple Nunu and I think Warwick were
Yeah.
sort of like a couple of the exceptions, but I would imagine like something like Jungle Jarvan would be just about impossible, you know, when you're really low,
Mm-hmm.
summoner level.
Yeah, but there's also a
You know, there's
reason why
a lot of other
Nunu
ones that are
is so
viable
cheap,
junglers that
because
are.
Riot kind of pushes, oh, you want a jungle, here's this 450 IP champion for
Yeah.
you to practice with.
Yeah. He's definitely an entry level jungler, and
Mm-hmm.
so he can pretty much do it whenever.
And so we're gonna move on a bit to Volibear. Let's get some first impressions on him. Is he OP? Is he underpowered? What's going on with him?
I think from my experiences, he's an amazingly strong champion. Um, Although I've seen a lot of people build him really wonky, I think if he's built properly, he can do a lot for his team. And because of the way he functions, he has like a lot of different slotting depending upon what game type you're playing. So like the main way you probably want to play a Volibear is health based, kind of like health tanky to get the most out of his frenzy, and then his second part of it, which is like his bite. I can't remember the exact name of that ability. Um, but then in places like Dominion, I've actually seen him play more of a carry role by going like lifesteal, and then Spirit Visage to up that lifesteal and his passive. So he just does a lot of damage and is able to stick in the fight, even though he's somewhat squishy. I don't like playing
Yeah,
against Volibear. He drives me
I
crazy.
picked
He's
up
a
Volibear when he came out, and I don't know. I don't think he's really too much overpowered or underpowered. From the little bit I've played as him, he seems to be in a decent spot. He can maybe be a little hit or miss, because I think he is kind of squishy earlier game. But I don't know. He's pretty cool. His frenzy is an amazing execute. It's like having Jarvan's or Garen's ulti on a normal ability.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I think
I,
I was reading something earlier about people's impressions on Volibear, and it was actually I think it was a Red that was chiming in and commenting on his kit a little bit, and something from that I found kind of interesting is that the way his damage is spread through his abilities, it's kind of like loaded onto Frenzy and his ultimate Thunderclaws. Um, his ultimate can be hit or miss just because you have to, you know, continually attack, but if you can continually attack, it does a lot of damage. But then his like Rolling Thunder, his Q, and his E, Majestic Roar, are a lot weaker. You know, then you're like average. It's kind of like you have two abilities that are like weaker than average, and then you have two abilities that are stronger than average. So it kind of can like look a little bit like Frenzy if you look at it, like, you know, just on its own. I guess it looks a little bit overpowered, but when you take the rest of the kit into consideration, maybe not.
that's an interesting idea, actually. I hadn't thought of that. So what you're saying is that he's got two slightly weaker and two slightly more powerful abilities that kind of evens him out with the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Also, just one more thing really quick. Volibear has a singed flip. He has a
Yeah.
singed flip with a movement speed steroid. And he runs at you on all fours and he's like, "Wah!"
Yeah, I
It's
was
kinda
not.
sick.
I don't remember what we read about him with what
They
his
said
move
it was
did.
They
like
said it was a
a
pop-up.
Pop up, yeah, that's right.
They didn't say it was a
Initially.
flip.
Yeah.
They said
Yeah.
something along the lines of a pop-up.
Yeah, so
And
we
then
were
I
all,
saw it in
we're
the
all like,
video
oh,
and
it's
I
a
was like-
Rammus. It's a Rammus pop up. Okay.
Except for one target. Yeah. It seemed kind of I don't know, kind of weird, but like the fact
Kind
that
of
it's like a
foobar.
mini fling kind of is awesome. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and I think it's just cool to see fling as a mechanic on another character as well. Like it kind of like was
Yes.
singed to like his you know, his thing, his
Trademark.
identity, but it's like at the same time it's such a cool ability. It kind of like to see it on other characters, I just like
Yeah.
it a lot.
Fling still kind of is a trademark though, considering the distance that he throws you.
Yeah.
Volibear, it's like the same mechanic, but it's a lot smaller, so it doesn't like feel quite as crazy but
Yeah.
it's still really cool.
Still a
I don't
great
know.
ability.
I've been playing
But
him as more
Volibear gets a speed
support
increase, though.
Volibear,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool
Well,
for that.
yeah, you keep in mind that Singe kind of does too from his ultimate. So it's like
But it's not the same
just a
ability.
different ability. No, no.
See,
And Singe has other stuff going for him. Like he has like a massive slow. So like I don't want to compare like the I think comboing the two together, the speed and the fling is makes for a cool ability. But like I don't want to like compare directly Rolling Thunder.
Yeah,
and
but he's not
Fling because
flinging.
they'd have.
Volibear's not flinging a guy back into a poison cloud that can do hilarious damage.
That's true.
The other thing with Volibear's Fling, though, is that considering it's an on next hit, it actually makes it a bit more tricky to use.
Yeah.
You really have to be in
I
like
was wondering
perfect
about
positioning,
that.
where Singe's Fling is, it's just like an ability. It has
Targeted.
its own
Mm-hmm.
targeted range. Even though it's like melee range, you still don't have to be like... I don't know, it seems like for Volibear, he pretty much literally flings the person behind him.
Right.
You know? So
Or in
you
front of
have
him.
to... So if you...
you have to position your character a little
Yeah.
bit trickier, I think. Whereas like
For Singed, I think it's a
Singed-
bit more, like, forgiving.
I think part of it actually might be also that just you're used to Singe type targeting on those kind of abilities, whereas like this is like you have to just position yourself a little bit differently because you're not used to on hit abilities having that type of movement, enemy movement factor.
So I'm just going through the website. I just noticed that
Fearing monsters is awesome.
I just noticed that Executor
3-second fear on
Mundo
monsters.
is coming out on sale, so I'm getting pretty excited about that.
Makes
Completely off topic. I'm
I don't know,
sorry.
dude. I think that cost him a little S&M. That's all I'm saying.
I like how you guys are still talking about Volibear, and I'm like, oh, Executor Mundo, hooray!
More importantly, Aviator Aurelia's on sale right now, and oh my god, I want to pick it up, but I can't decide yet.
Yesterday was the last day for Lee Sin skin. I totally picked it up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Justin Bieber,
Justin
Lee
Bieber
Sin.
skin.
Well, we're out of topic, so
Cue
we can.
Demaga Rage.
I hate you all.
Told you! Called it!
That picked
Little
up.
delay there, but
You
yes.
picked up emo Oriana, so it's even now.
Hey, she's not emo. She's Hot Topic. Get it right.
So we have about 4 more minutes till break. So just a bit of small talk.
This is what I want. I want
Gosh.
a Singed flip, but instead of like the animation being a flip, it's a leapfrog. So you like hop over them, but you push them backward.
You hop over them, then you kick
that'd
them,
be
kinda
then you
fun.
do like a
Wait.
handstand and you kick them backwards.
So is it like
Yeah.
a mini Urgot ultimate?
Yeah, it's like a
No,
mini Urgot
no.
ult.
Oh, okay.
It'd be like a fling. Well,
It
no.
would be like-
I want it to be a fling though.
It would
I don't know.
It would be like a backwards flip from Singe, but you jump over them, then you Lee Sin kick them back. How's that?
Yes, exactly. That'd be
Alright.
sick.
Ninetales Fox, get on it. That's her new cue.
Ah, she's not out yet. Q Rage.
What?
I don't know. From the bit that like has been released, through I think it's like Ezreal's Twitter, and I don't think there's really new information, but goddamn, she looks cool.
Really?
Dude, no more assassins, please.
Yeah,
me a
she's
new
supposed to be a mage a mobility mage assassin kind of a thing.
Oh, so like Fizz.
Like her ultimate's supposed to be
Who
like
does not have mobility
she-
nowadays?
she's let's see.
Isn't that pretty much like Fizz mobility?
Yeah, they've been
assassin?
releasing a lot of mobility champs, honestly. Let's see. Her
Without
ultimate
going
was
on
supposed to be like like Ezreal's arcane shift where he teleports and like sends out a little homing thing. Like her ultimate's supposed to be like that, but ammo based. So like presumably like you can like build up some number of charges and then like you can teleport around shooting off these little homing things.
shooting her tails.
Like Kassadin kind of.
she has 9 of them. Throughout the whole
Yeah,
game.
possibly. That would make sense. Her passive is supposed to be sort of 9 themed as well, I guess. I guess like the last thing that there was mentioned about it, and this was a while ago, I have to emphasize, but so it could be very different now for all we know. But it was supposed to like charge up to 9 times and then have some effect after the 9th charge or something.
Mm.
But they didn't actually say
Oh, I see what they
like
did
how
there.
it charges or.
And just as a last little bit of this tiny tangent we're going on, Warwick is getting a legendary skin.
Is it legendary? I don't think it's legendary.
Yeah, it's not
I
necessarily.
saw.
I
Actually,
mean,
I'm
like,
pretty sure I
before
saw a
they,
red post where it's not.
Really?
Like,
oh, I'm
they
sorry.
did that for like Tryndamere,
Yeah.
but they also did that for Super Teemo. And that's
Yeah, that
not
wasn't legendary.
Oh, I'm sorry,
True.
I lied.
Yeah, they're just doing the movie posters.
No.
No, it looks really cool though.
I'm just
I'm kind
bored.
of looking forward to it. Oh, speaking of Speaking of Warwick, apparently, like I saw a post somewhere. I wish I could dig it up. Where apparently Warwick got a new run animation and a new animation for his Hungering Strike, and it looks really dorky.
What?
Like he runs hella slow. Like he like has okay. You know how I was complaining about Sivir's like movement, like her run animation last night, like where she like moves hella slow and takes big slow steps. It looked kind of like that. It looked really bad.
Wait, they
Warwick right
changed
now
it
looks
to
pretty
that?
That's
bad.
awesome.
They need to redo a bit on Warwick.
And then his Hungering Strike, they made it look a little bit more flashy, but honestly, I just think it looks worse. Like he just like he like slashes, but there's like this whole big swirly animation like around his like entire body, instead of just like in front of him like it was before, which I thought looked a lot better. I don't know. I don't like the changes.
Yeah, I think that they should
I hope they
go
revert
back
it personally.
and I like them going back and redoing some of their old champions.
I like the model reworks, but some of the animations, like I really liked Warwick's animations, his Hungering Strike animation, and the fact that they changed that and in my opinion didn't make it look any better. That made me kind of frustrated.
Alright, well we're gonna go on break, and during this break, we're gonna play a new song that was created by yours truly that will be sent in to the Summoner Showcase, and I'm gonna get it ready to send to you guys to listen to. This is not the final, okay? I had a very, I did a speech the day before, so my voice was very rattled. So I will be redoing the vocals. Shout out to Bethany Nielsen for doing the piano part, and Sydney Holt for doing the voice of Oriana. And I will send this to you guys to listen to. This is not the final thing. This will be played on the podcast. The final part should be done on Monday and will be put onto YouTube. So, we'll take a $5
Oh
and
my
enjoy
God.
the song. There are few who deny it. What I do, I am the best, for my talents are renowned far and wide. When it comes to ganks in the jungle early game, I'm known for being quite the bundle. With the smallest little flick of my scarecrow bean, I have seen the greatest go insane. With the shot of my drain and a well-placed Q, I have pushed the very greatest out the lane. Yet, game after game, it's the same old thing. End with red and start with blue. And I, Fid, the harbinger of doom, have grown so tired of this jungle route. Oh, somewhere deep inside of these sticks, an emptiness grew so thick. There's something out there far from my stead, a sickening from all of this dread. I'm the harbinger of doom, made of a broom, and I'll push you right out of your lane. From the east to the west, I am the best, and I'm top in North America and EU. And since I'm AP, there is so much to see, to stick and burst at will. No minion nor creep can resist my shriek in the fear that I invoke in a chill. But who here would ever understand that the great fiddle, made of branches, would tire of his name, throw away his fame? He'd put it all down if they only thought the same. Oh, there's a hollow place in this wood that hides under an eternal hood. The jungle and ganks come game after game, does nothing for my dying flame.
Oh, Fid, I know how you feel.
You are listening to an archive of Juked. During a live show, this is when we would play music and play an ad for our live viewers. Live shows will begin in the new year. If you're interested in tuning in, keep an eye on our website at igptv.com or on our facebook.com/Innergeekproductions. To submit your ad to Juked, please contact us at innergeekproductions@hotmail.com. If you're viewing this on our YouTube page, please remember to leave a comment, thumbs up or down this video, and subscribe to this video if you want to stay updated on our work. Now, back for more Juked.
I fucking loved it. I really thought no, because that's a song. That's a cover of a song from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's one of my favorite songs in the entire movie because it shows a deeper side to the character Jack Skellington. And I think that was really cool the way that you perceived that upon Fiddlesticks and the fact that he only has one jungle route, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
The only gripe I'm gonna say is it's Harbinger.
Yeah.
Harbinger.
That failed.
That's exactly what I was gonna mention too.
Doggone it. Okay, well, luckily
Harbinger.
Harbinger. Yes.
Harbinger.
Okay, well, I gotta redo that.
The Harbinger of Doom.
I gotta redo it. So, anyways, because my voice is just terrible, and that's. Ugh.
Can we call him the Harbinger
No.
from now on?
Considering, dude, that you don't have like much experience, I'm guessing, singing or anything like that, really well done.
Eh.
Yeah.
It shows that like you don't have a ton of experience, but nonetheless, dude, well done. It sounded really good.
I think your passion for what you were doing made it sound even better, and you could really tell it was something you cared about.
Okay, well, I'll get to redo that, then we're sending that off to the summer showcase. Hopefully that'll get a bit more flooding into the channel. That's really the goal behind
That'd be
it.
cool.
And we will be doing the entire movie soundtrack. And I'm actually getting people with talent.
Holy crap!
I'm actually getting people with talent, and you guys are welcome to help out in like the bigger ones, like This Is Halloween. But it's gonna be.
This is Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Okay, maybe not you.
Halloween.
Anyway.
Fuck you, Stringo. Whatever.
Okay.
Fuck you guys.
We're going back right into Juked. Welcome back to Juked. I hope you guys enjoyed that terrible rendition. I will be redoing it. Special thanks to Bethany Nielsen, who did a smack up job on that piano. That was really the best part. Sydney Holt for doing the voice of Oriana, and myself for butchering the lyrics, but I also did rewrite the song and redo the lyrics with what musical talent I had left. So we're gonna finish up Juked right now with the mailbox. So a lot of the forums, because we still did not get anything in the inbox, innergeekproductions@hotmail.com. Send us in your questions, you freaking idiots. And so now we're going.
Dude, that's not good for.
That's not helping anything.
People.
I hope you edit that out.
Yeah.
I'm getting so frustrated. One more week. If we get
Don't
nothing
take it
in,
out on your fans.
if we get nothing in, I'm gonna do the $10 gift card to first email to come in. I'm gonna get that $10
That's gonna
thing.
be me.
A good question. We'll do that. If we don't get anything in this week, we're going to do. Wait, I'm actually like de-promoting it, aren't I? Because then people are gonna wait for. Shoot. Okay, so first question to come in, guys. I will give you a $10 Riot gift card for next week. So loyal listeners, send in a decent question. I will make sure it's not from these three, if the best I can. And I'll email it back to you, the code for the $10 gift card. A good question. A good question. Don't make it like... What was the question you emailed me in, Damaga? Why does nobody use the Victorious Jarvan skin or something?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I was just wondering, because, like, I don't know. I would have expected to see it if it was out this long.
A good question.
But no.
A good question about League of Legends. Don't ask us, like, the meaning behind life or something, because we're just going to say League of Legends.
42.
Yes, 42. So we're going to go...
What about 20?
No. we're going to go straight into the mailbox, which is from the League of Legends forums. And I'm not going to read these forum posts in their full length because they're so filled with bad grammar, I can't be asked. So, just to, I'm just going to read out the summoner name. Cabalit asks why we are not seeing promote in Summoner's Rift. Is it just not feasible to use? So let's just talk about a bit about promote. The new summoner spells have been out for quite a long time, and we don't really see promote in the lane at all. And so, is there a way we think that they can fix it? Because it's supposed to be kind of the new Fortify. So, what do we think about promote? How can they fix it?
But it's doing its job just like Fortify. Nobody ever uses it. See, it's the exact same thing.
No, my view on it is two, maybe three things are going to have to happen. One, and this might just be honestly the most important to a lot of people, is just that like pros are probably going to have to like use it in some specific team comp. Well, I guess first just I think it's more team comp reliant to really take advantage of it, and it has a little bit higher skill cap. I think the whole being having to take advantage of it in a non sort of simple way. That's preventing people from using it. I think if a pro team uses it and wins a tournament, or just does places it well in a tournament, and takes a match handily, or turns around a match with promote, thanks to promote, it'll get a lot of spotlight on it, and people might start using it more. And then I guess there's just the fact that you can only use it once every 3 minion waves. You can't just like say, okay, the time's right, promote, let's push this tower. Like, that doesn't work. There has to be the siege minion, and waiting for that to happen sort of takes away clutch uses of it, I guess. You can't really use it clutch. You just kind of like use it when you can, which feels bad.
I don't know, dude. I think to a slight degree I disagree, because if you know 3 mini waves is what it takes, you can plan out the lanes better. So like, first wave, you want to keep it towards the middle, maybe let them push up a little bit. Then you want to push them back the last 2 waves, and then when the 3rd wave is coming in, you promote the big minion. I think it requires more lane control and more forethought about how and when to use it, and also how to set up your lane properly to make it most beneficial. What I think a lot of players is like too micro.
I'm thinking more like, okay, like you pull off like a gank mid, the enemy jungler can't clear the push the lane quick enough, so like you quickly promote like a minion, and then you push down the tower, preventing it's because he can't take it stuff down quick enough. That's like all like that has to be timed. You can't like predict that as easily. Like maybe like okay mid lane overextends, you get it, you call in your jungle, you get the gank off, you push the lane, you promote your minion, you start pushing the tower, the enemy jungler shows up, but because there's a promoted minion, he can't defend it well enough. That's all like it just has to happen like then. Like you can't really like plan for that very well.
I don't know. I think if you're a smart player and you know how to judge it well, I think it can work, but it just requires a really, really large amount of it requires a couple things for that to work, at least in the way that I'm thinking about it, and that's going to be like extreme team coordination and the aggression of the opposing team. I mean, it can be done. Whether or not it will be done consistently is another matter.
See, yeah, that's what I mean. Is like you're relying on the enemy team to like sort of they hold too much of a factor in it being useful, at the right time, kind of a thing.
Which is why I said it's like Fortify. It's never used.
Well, Fortify at least like okay, they're trying to push your tower. It's like bing, you can't push your tower. It's reactionary, and it promote not being reactionary, I think, is its biggest flaw.
In terms of just the way it's used, I mean, you're going up against spells such as Flash and Ghost, which are escapes, and against, an Ignite or something, which is in terms of killing enemy champs. So I think that in terms of that, it's weaker because it's only used in certain situations of pushing a tower. And even then, it's not like it draws the fire of the turret. So I was just thinking of some ways they could fix it. Maybe it could taunt the tower. Maybe the turret will only shoot at that minion, allowing you to tower dive. I think that would provide maybe a bit more interesting mechanics behind it. And
That
a
would
reason
be
to get
so cool. Oh my
would be a bit
goodness,
If
more
I
it
would
did
run
work
that.
like that, I think you would want to leave it as only the siege
Yeah, or
minions.
like as
Yeah.
a siege minute or something, or make
Because
it
then,
less
like,
strong.
if your laning enemy knows you have promote, they can play extra cautious when there's a siege minion in your lane.
Yeah, see, that would be a lot more interesting. That in and of itself, that add a new level of gameplay to it.
Because right now it's just, it gives the tower a couple extra shots on a minion while you're standing there hitting the turret. Which is like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay, great.
That's why I was saying it's like I think it's really, especially right now, really team comp reliant.
And my
And that would
other...
even be useful
in
pretty
good
much like,
coordination. It needs good coordination.
if it allowed you to tower dive like that, that would be useful, I think, in all points in the game.
Like, while you're having a team fight. Oh, look, there's a siege minion. Hey, look, your
Yeah.
tower's irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And my other idea was make it like a Mordekaiser ult. You can't actually control it. You can alt-click on the enemy champion, and it goes straight for them. So you're trying to fight them. Oh, look, now you have a little minion
That would be
chasing you.
kind of cool too.
So those are my
actually.
two ideas behind
Things like a-
promote. It's just to like maybe make it a bit stronger and make it so people might want to think about taking it. I mean, make it a limited amount of time. Maybe it's health drain, so you can't like grab onto the siege minion and like start jungling with it, even though that'd be really funny. So, any other ideas about promote in that regards? Any of ideas or anything? Right now, it's
Not so
the
much an idea.
strongest.
Just I do agree that yeah, it needs some tweaks. It's not quite where it should be.
So
And they
here,
could really
Riot.
do a lot of interesting things with it. You had some great ideas, so
So here, Riot, take this. This is
You
my
know,
gift to you. All I ask for return is a Jack Skellington Fiddlesticks costume and an Oriana Sully's, the ragdoll one. So yeah, get on that. And now so now the final mail comes in from, oh gosh, ARX4. Yeah, he brought up a really interesting, and this is I think that this is quite interesting. He wants to remove free champions from ranked play. So I think that's actually quite cool, personally. A really interesting idea to throw out there. Remove the free champion rotation from ranked play so you can only use champions that you have available for you.
I agree and disagree. Like, I think the free champions just like it has a weird effect on ranked play, you know, because of, you know, having this extra pool, and it's like, all right, this free champion is out who's kind of OP, so now for this week we have to ban him. You know, where, you know, we might not have to worry about him quite as much just because like the other team actually has to have them, whatever. But at the same time, it creates a lot bigger barrier of entry for ranked, just because you have to own a lot more champions, you know, in case like essentially, okay, it would say they did like, you know, eliminate free champions from ranked play. You know, what if like, you know, two of the champions, you say, and you own like two champions or something, or 7 champions, you know, because you just hit level 30 or whatever. What if like 2 or 3 of the champions you own are banned and then the rest of them are picked in your like 10th pick or something? Well, now you don't have any champions. You know, so essentially they have to make it so like you know, before even entering ranked play, you own like a certain number of champions before you can even play ranked, which
They actually have that already out.
kind of
dude.
weird.
No, that's already a factor. You need to have a minimum, I think, of like, God, what was it?
Yeah,
I
no,
think they
there's
were
a
saying,
minimum.
like 12 or 13.
Yeah, but my point being is that it by removing the free champions, it raises that barrier even more.
Yeah, for reals.
So kind of a yes.
So I don't know. I kind
a
of
no.
agree, but I kind of like, I don't know. What was that, Stringo?
Kind of a yes, kind of a no. Just something to think about.
Yeah.
We don't want people, Brand's free this week, so, I have to play Mage, so I'm gonna grab Brand. I have no idea how to use him. Kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe like they could do it based off of like ELO or something. Like after you like break, say, 1400
Yeah,
ELO.
1400.
You know,
that's the
you
thresh
have
marker.
to, you know, you don't get, or make some threshold.
Mhm.
You know, as to where you start reaching, you know, a certain level of competition. You know, then you actually have to own the champions to play them. I don't know. That'd be sort of my potential compromise. Any other thoughts?
No, apparently not. Okay, so I think that is going to be it for this week. Any shout-outs at all? We never have shout-outs, do we?
Shout out to our fifth, our random.
Yes, our fifth.
Well done, usually. If
When,
not,
Learn to
sorry.
play
I
80
don't know,
carries.
something.
Do it.
yeah, random
when I
fifth, play
do
80
finish
carry.
Fid's lament, I will actually be posting on their fan art section of it, and I'll go ahead and stick in there, hey, we are looking for a fifth, because there will be that bit of an advertisement to see us screwing around during our troll games. Maybe we can bait somebody, we'll find out, or at least get some people on my friends list that we can call in when we need to. So thank you everybody for listening to Juked. This has been, wait, what was our team name again?
Tooth Gnasher Super Flash.
Okay, that, and we'll catch you guys next week. I still think it should be Tooth Gnasher or Super Flasher, because it rhymes. See you guys all next week. Welcome back from inside the Rift. We hope you enjoyed yourself and that you learned something. Remember to email us at innergeekproductions@hotmail.com with your questions with the tagline Juked. If you're viewing this on our YouTube channel, please thumbs up this video, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more insanity. You can get the MP3 of this show from our website igptv.com and soon from iTunes. Remember to send us in your replays to be casted at innergeekproductions@hotmail.com. See you next week on Juked.